you're very welcome to the Irish Council for Social Housing Election Cast. So this morning, Karen, who's our Director of Policy here at the Irish Council, took 5 minutes after a committee meeting that we had to talk to two of our housing association members about the general election that's coming up on February the 8th and the central issue of housing, and in particular the issue of social housing. In the Irish Council for Social Housing, we strongly believe that delivering a fair and affordable housing system is a cornerstone for a better society, a better Ireland. So in the election cast, Karen talks to Brian O'Gorman, the CEO of Clúid Housing Association, and Tina Donaghy, the Director of Development at Fold Housing Association, about 4 key commitments we in the Irish Council for Social Housing are seeking from political parties, and not only from the political parties now, but also for the future programme for government. So have a listen and you'll learn a lot in a few minutes. Thanks very much.
At the base of it all is, I suppose, a commitment to trying to achieve a fair and affordable housing system, because we believe that that's the cornerstone for a better society. So we've picked out 4 commitments. One is to deliver more social housing and also to improve affordability for renters and purchasers, to move AHBs off balance sheet, because we're caught at the moment in a technicality where AHBs are being counted as part of the government's finances, which in future will restrict and limit the amount of finance that AHBs can bring into the delivery of more homes. So we see that as crucial. State land for the delivery of housing, for social and affordable housing. I suppose what we see is the need to use as much state land as possible to provide housing for people who need social and affordable housing. Also, another specific element is around improving the options for people who require housing with support, and that we'd have more delivery for housing, supported housing for older people or people with disabilities, and a proper framework there so people have a real option in their local communities. Brian, I don't know if there are any of them speak to you in particular.
I think what's been encouraging during the whole of the election campaign at this stage is that all political parties are retaining quite strong focus on housing, and particularly social and affordable housing, and the people who are trapped not able to afford housing or not able to get access to housing. So I think its prominence is something which any new government is going to use to be able to, is going to have an opportunity to introduce housing measures, and they will be largely supported by the electorate and the general public at large. I think the use of state land, and particularly for housing associations, I think is extremely useful, because I think because housing associations are creating or developing properties which are available in perpetuity. It means that state land, if it's given for use in development by housing associations, will be continuously, generation after generation, available to house more housing need and different and new generations as they come into the future. The objective is to create housing which is available in perpetuity to rent. So I think it's important to realise that yes, it's a state asset, as is state land. By using it for these kinds of means, it remains continually available to current generations and future generations to help meet housing need.
Tina, yeah.
I would agree with Brian's comments totally. As we know, opportunities are getting fewer and further between to generate opportunities for development, and especially development at scale. I think the sector has demonstrated very clearly its professionalism, in particular with regards to housing management and creating communities, and the other community work that they do besides providing the housing. As Brian rightly said, those state lands being used for social and affordable housing would be in perpetuity, and it would enable communities to thrive and grow, and intergenerational housing, and that's going to be key going forward. It's the only way we're going to get any scale or volume. And likewise for the housing, probably looking at more specific housing for people with disabilities, or housing with care, as we would call it. I mean, I suppose the current Government has set out its joint policy document on housing and health, providing housing for an ageing population, and that could be expanded upon for various other groups. We have been, I suppose, lobbying for some time now to get that bespoke revenue stream to allow approved housing bodies who deliver on care services to get the joined up thinking, and this would be, you know, moving forward, another really key I suppose issue that we should be, to enable people to remain home for longer, long term saving the treasury on terms of health, hospital beds, nursing home provision, and like Brian said with regards to building on state lands, the amount of HAP that we would be saving. So long term, I think these initiatives will save the government in terms of health, housing, in all areas. They're key.
That's perfect. I think just as a wrap up, I think the public have given the new government a very clear mandate throughout this election campaign to actually go and sort out the housing problem, to ensure that there's enough affordable and social housing for everyone.